Good afternoon. I'm Alesa Loftus, and I'm here with Jimmie Ratliff. And today we are going to discuss when your loved one is reluctant to accept care.
Yeah, so when we're talking about that, a lot of families deal with this type of thing, and it's really what happens when a loved one clearly needs help, but they don't want it.
Yeah, it's more common than people realize, and it can be a really emotional situation.
So let's start with the concept of independent living. It's something we talk about a lot here, but I think sometimes it's misunderstood.
Yeah, independent living doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means having control over your own life, including choosing the supports that help you to stay safe and involved.
Right. It's about having those types of choices and the freedom to live your life on your own terms, even when supports are a part of that picture.
Right, and needing help doesn't mean losing independence. Often it just means protecting it.
Right. So why do some people resist? What are some of the reasons that we've seen?
Fear. Fear is a big one. Fear of losing control, fear of being a burden, or even just the fear of change.
Yeah, some folks think that accepting help means that maybe they've failed or that there's some way lacking in, things they used to be able to do. They feel like they're losing that independence. But really, it can be the smartest way to help stay independent longer, getting some of those in-home supports and help that you need.
Right. I think that can be kind of like a pride
Yes.
that causes that. And sometimes people just haven't had the chance to talk it through in a way that feels respectful.
Right, so let's talk about how to actually have that conversation when a loved one is resisting some of those supports.
Ask. Don't tell. Questions like, what's important to you about living at home? What worries you the most right now? That opens the door for conversation.
Right. Instead of using phrases like, you need to do this, you can use phrases like we. How can we figure this out together? It shifts the tone from a confrontation to more of a partnership.
Exactly, and sometimes that's all someone needs, is to just feel like their voice is still being heard.
Right. Another tip can be to start small, because sometimes people resist because everything feels so overwhelming.
Try suggesting just one or two simple changes first. One of the easiest places to start is with home safety items, things that help prevent falls or injuries without being invasive.
Right, we talked about this a little bit last week with things just like grab bars in the bathroom, maybe non-slip mats, toilet risers, so that it's more accessible for them to be able to use the restroom on their own. Handrails, especially around stairs, even handrails to help an individual get up and down off of the toilet if they're using the restroom, bars and showers, things like that. And even motion sensor night lights can kind of amplify the safety of the area that they're living in.
Right, and you mentioned last week we were talking about the Alexa
Yes.
products. This can be real handy.
Absolutely.
So you can also look at rearranging furniture to reduce tripping hazards. You can make sure pathways are clear for someone using a walker or cane.
Right. Small adjustments like that can make the home feel safer without making it feel more sterile like a hospital or a nursing facility or something like that. And that really is the key.
Yeah. And once someone sees how those changes help, they're usually more open to trying other kinds of support after that.
Right. Sometimes, though, it's not just about comfort, it's about safety. So what do we do then?
That's when you might need to be a little more direct, but still kind. You can say, can we try this for 30 days? Framing it as a temporary gives them some control.
Right. Letting them be a part of choosing what help looks like and who's involved and when it happens keeps their dignity intact, and it really does make them more open to receiving those supports that are provided in the home.
No one wants to feel powerless. No one wants to be treated like a child, and even small choices can make a big difference.
That's absolutely right. We want to talk a little bit also today about, especially if you're watching from Washington, Craig, or Nowata counties, that we're planning some exciting training events for the late summer and in the fall.
And that's going to include more CPR classes to teach how to perform CPR on both adults and children. And we're also offering new classes, support groups, support sessions for focusing on teens, families, and caregivers.
Right. People a lot of times have questions like, how do I support my loved one to help them stay independent or encourage that independence? And what are some of the things I should know when helping someone with a disability? So a lot of times, especially if you have maybe grandparents that are now maybe suddenly living with you, or you have a sibling or a parent who maybe has a disability or has recently gotten a disability, then those types of questions can be very common for individuals who are new to that situation. So a place where folks will be able to ask those types of questions and get some answers, that's part of what we're going to be focusing on in some of these trainings.
And our classes that we're going to have are going to be targeting all ages, right?
Yes, so they'll target all ages. There'll be supports for young preteens. There'll be supports for teenagers and different types of programs there, and then even some adult support groups for maybe caretakers or even individuals who have disabilities.
Awesome. And also starting next week, and this is really important, we need your help. We're going to put out a quick community survey, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear what kinds of training people in our service area would like to see.
Right.
What do you want to learn about?
Yeah, so make sure that you're following our page, Dynamic Independence, on Facebook. If you're watching this, there's a good chance that you are. And if you're watching this and you're not, go give us a follow. And when you see that link for that survey, check that out.
And also, we're so excited. We are starting a digital newsletter. And we're going to have a link to that right there in the survey. And that's coming out next week too. So it's a great time to stay connected with us.
Yeah, you can absolutely opt in to get that. Just check in the box in the survey, so you can take the survey, tell us what kind of programs you want to see, plus you can get the latest news and updates coming straight to your email inbox. Again, we talked about this before. We don't share or sell email addresses,
Absolutely.
so your information is safe with us. We'd be happy to add you to the mailing list so you can stay informed on what's going on in the broader picture, not just in our weekly lives here. So we would appreciate it if you would join us on that. And whether you're supporting someone or you're figuring out what you need for yourself, we're always here to help.
Awesome. And I do want to mention a portion of these classes that we're going to have coming up are going to be online classes. So you won't even have to leave the comfort of your home. So I do want to let you know that. So don't think that just because you possibly have constraints where you can't get out of your home for certain times or anything like that, that you won't be able to do it, because a lot of our stuff is going to be online. And everyone deserves to live a chance to live independently and with dignity. So it's never too late to start that conversation.
And one more time, thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow our page and look out for that survey link next week.
And as always, you can reach us at 918-335-1314, or you can come by the office right here at 1110 Southeast Frank Phillips Boulevard and visit with me or Jimmy or Carl. And we'll see you next week.
All right, see you next time.